Welcome to The Good Life. Thank you for stopping by. I'm Patrick Harney. Thank you to everybody who always listens, subscribes, shares, comments, all that stuff. I appreciate it. But you know what? This episode, I'm not going to ask you to do all that stuff, okay? You're most likely adults, and you can do whatever you want to do. You know, I'm not going to tell you what to do. So go ahead and do what you want to do. But I want to talk about the fact that I have a gentleman on today who is a writer, or he's an actor. He's a producer. He's a writer, also a minister, a rabbi. And this guy could do anything. He's a scuba diver. Really cool stuff, man. His name is Steve Shermett, and he's been on stuff that he's gotten to work with Ted Danson, Holly Hunter, and we'll talk about that as well. And he's just such a nice guy, you know. I met him when he was helping me with an audition, and on We Audition. Yeah, he's just a nice guy. So you know what? I'm gonna be done talking, okay? Because I don't want to. Let's just get to it. Enjoy. All right, Steve. Welcome. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time to come chat, man.
Hey, Patrick, I am honored you asked, man. Thank you.
Yeah. So we met, strangely enough, we met virtually on We Audition because I needed help with an audition. And for those of you who don't know what We Audition is a website that basically like actors can go on there, and there are other actors who will offer their services up as a reader. You can help them read for auditions, whether you're rehearsing, self-tape auditions, whatever. And I needed help with an audition. And so I went on there and I posted, you know, I need a male reader for, 15 minutes, just one scene or two scenes or whatever it was. And and so Steve went on there to offered himself up for me to book it, and I did, and we met, and you were a fantastic reader.
Thank you, man.
There's nothing worse than trying to do an audition and your reader is just super monotone and flat.
Know.
It's miserable.
I've had to throw out some auditions and rebook because of that. Now I've got my favorites that I go to all the time.
Yep. And it's funny because I do too. And now like I'll go on there and I look to see if those people are on there. And if they do, then I just reach out to them directly. I don't even
Hey, now you've got like all my contact information. So if you need me, send me an email or text me and I'll hop on if I can.
Perfect.
Hey, for any of the people watching, if they want to like hop on to We Audition, I've got a discount code. I'm one of the MVPs and I can provide that. And it's like with the discount code, it's like $7.50 a month. And then if you read for somebody like one time, you'll make that back. So I highly recommend every actor join.
Yeah, that's sweet. Okay. Well, make sure to send me that and I'll make sure to put it in the show notes so we can have that in there for you. So you are an actor, producer, writer, a minister, a rabbi,
and an all-around nice guy.
Yes, you are. You do everything, man. You do everything. What do you not do? Let me guess. You're like really good at like building boats too. Like, are you like a master carpenter?
I can do nothing with my hands. I am like so bad with my hands.
Except bless the people.
Hey, when we had building projects at our congregation, they would come and take the tools out of my hands and say, just sit down.
just do what you do best, just pray.
This isn't your place.
That's awesome. So and then you were also you also hosted the Shepherd's Heart, which is a Christian TV show. It's a talk show, correct?
Yeah.
So you did that for like 3 years. You did like over 100 episodes. I think it said it's like 114 episodes is what's listed. So how did you get your start into acting and television and all of that stuff?
It was a really weird route for me. I was a stage actor in high school and after high school. And I was doing community theater and semi-professional theater. And I was working my way to LA. I really wasn't thinking of screen acting that much back in those days because I didn't have those opportunities. I had stage opportunities. Then I stepped away from it for several years, pursued my, make a living career, raised 4 children, was raised by one wife. She's still raising me. And then about, I don't know, about 6 years ago, I was online just poking around for things to do. And I saw this meetup in Phoenix. I lived in Tucson at the time. It said on-screen acting class. And the guy teaching it, I knew him from a TV show or a movie I watched, so I knew it was legit. And I said, I got the day off. I wonder if I still like acting. And I wonder if I'm still any good at it. I'm going to go. Wow. So I took the 2-hour drive up to Phoenix, sat through the class, and then they turned the camera on. And I did my scene. And the other students were like, I could see them. They were mesmerized. And then when it was over, they're like, you're a professional at this? And I said, no, I used to do stage acting 30 years ago. I don't do it anymore. Oh, you should. And then the guy who ran the class said, yeah, Steve, you should. You can do this. I said, yeah, I run 2 congregations. I got 4 kids. I don't have time. He said, no, it's not like stage acting where you have to go to rehearsal every night after work for 3 weeks or 4 weeks. You can make a film on the weekend. And I said, what? So you got to know me. I went online and I did massive research. I read articles from backstage and anywhere I could find them. How does one become a screen actor? What does it mean?
Good for you for doing that.
So I learned real quick, I need a reel, a resume, and a headshot. I researched what a good headshot looks like because my daughter-in-law just got a new camera. So I brought her over and said, I need headshots. I'm going to submit to agencies in the area. I used my previous acting experience on stage for my resume and all my TV hosting, which at that time it was like, oh, I can make a reel out of this. I'll have a reel. I know it's not acting, but it showed them my on-camera presence and hear my voice.
Yeah.
So I hit up the agencies in Phoenix and one of them offered to represent me. And that's when the magic started, man.
Wow. Good for you for doing the research, man. I can't tell you how many people I've met and I've seen that, oh, well, I want to be a movie star. Okay. So what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to go make movies. Yeah. Okay. But like, what are you actually going to do though for that? Well, I imagine I'll have to audition, it's just memorizing lines. And then, you see them, maybe they book a job, they get lucky, they book a job. And next time you talk to them, they will have filmed already. So how was it? I was on set for just so long and like, it just was barely doing anything. And like, I don't know if I really want to do it anymore.
Dude, it's my happy place. I love sitting on set for 12 hours. I got nothing better to do.
Dude, it's my favorite place. Like I actually, so this last weekend, I was on set for a short film that I'm doing. And my stuff got done filming. And I was there for like another hour and a half, 2 hours. Because it's just hanging out and just helping where I could. And just being there. Oh man, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. But good for you for doing the research because that's important. You can't the industry I feel is so clogged with people that want to be stars. They want to be movie stars, not actors. There's a difference. There was something that my cousin he's been in the business for decades and decades, and he's done really well for himself, and he's worked with the best. And he told me, he said, he said, if you really love this thing, then don't try to be famous. Don't try to be a star. You can become famous doing anything if you really work hard enough. He said, but if you really want to be an actor, a working actor, then whatever comes with it will come with it. But the joy of it will be in the work. And I was like, wow, oh, that's true.
I may become famous someday. I may not become famous someday, but I'll bet you anything, fame might be more than it's worth.
Yeah.
I won't know till I get there, if I get there, but there's a lot of negatives that come with that kind of fame. The inability to go grocery shopping or go to your favorite restaurant or just walk down the street without being mobbed or swarmed by paparazzi.
Yeah.
You know, it's a risk I'm willing to take, but it's not like I'm going for it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. And like I've been asked, what's your goal as an actor to, what do where do you want to get to, right? And people have said, oh, do you want the big mansions? Do you want all the sick cars? And, you want all this millions and millions and millions of dollars of money. Okay, well, I'd be lying if I said that some of that stuff might not be cool. But
Yeah.
for me, as long as my family can eat, as long as my bills are paid and they're paid by doing what I love to do, I'm good. And what my goal is, because I'm a very competitive person, right? My goal is I want to be able to work with the best who have ever done it and be able to say that I held my own.
Yes, sir. I'm right there with you.
If I can get on screen with Leo, if I can get on screen with De Niro or work in a Martin Scorsese movie and be able to say that, like, I went toe to toe with them. And when you watch the scene, I don't just get completely crushed on camera.
Right.
Then I'm good,
Right. Yep.
Then I'm good. So yeah, that's my thing. But for you, you had let's talk about The Chosen.
All right.
So this is a series. It's a television series. Well, is it on YouTube or is it on? Because I know I'd seen it's on Peacock. Like you can stream it on Peacock and all that stuff. But as of, I think I had just read that as of July of 2021, it had been watched over 150 million times.
You know what? I have the app here that actually gives the current.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm
cool.
going to open it up right now.
Okay.
And let's see.
So what?
Update first.
So while you're doing this, for everybody who doesn't know, The Chosen is a series.
Oh, it doesn't work. Bummer.
Oh, The Chosen is a series that it's a television series that talks about Jesus's life, and it goes through Jesus's life.
271,235,210 views as of right now.
Wow!
Just on this platform. That doesn't count Peacock. That doesn't count PureFlix. That doesn't count YouTube.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But I love that.
Yeah, it's blowing up, man, in such a good way.
And what's funny is I remember seeing casting calls for that series. But they were so vague. Like I didn't know anything about it. And then hearing about how big it had gotten, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And so you're in the first season, correct?
Yeah, episodes 4 and 8.
So that's early on in the show then.
Yeah.
While you were filming that, you play a Pharisee, correct?
Yep.
So while you're filming that, did everybody know or have any sort of sense that it would become what it has become now?
No.
While you're filming it? No?
I mean, I knew Dallas was an amazing director. Actually, I chased him down, hoping one day I could work with him. And this was that day, Yeah. So I knew the potential was phenomenal. I knew it could be one of the biggest things there was. But whether it would be or not, we'll wait and see. Yeah. When I saw the scripts, I knew they were fabulous. I knew his directing was fabulous. When I got on set, the costumes and the set were fabulous. So I was extremely hopeful it would do very well. But this is insanely well. And it's just starting. There's still people out there who haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I hope that it gets I hope it gets picked up by something big that that it can really get an even bigger audience than it already has. But yeah, and I also read that it's been translated in over 50 different languages.
Isn't that crazy? And I don't remember, maybe 7 of them are actually dubbed. The rest are captions.
Okay.
This has taken the world by storm in every way. I mean, just even the way that it's coming out to the world primarily through an app, that's never happened before. And it was crowdfunded. This was crowdfunded, brother.
Yeah, that's wild.
Just insane. Yeah.
My question is, how come this isn't bigger news?
That's a great question. What do you think?
I think personally, I think it's because, in terms of Hollywood, that Jesus and faith in general has been really taken out.
I think that's got to have a part of it for sure. Probably the biggest part.
And it has been, like when people win awards or something, and, and they go up there and they thank God for the gifts that he's given them. And it'll pan to the crowd and you'll see some people clapping, and then some people are like,
they don't want to be seen clapping for
they
that.
don't want to be seen clapping because of that. Like, I don't
I'm
get
clapping
that.
for God. I will clap for God till my dying breath.
Exactly. And like guys like Chris Pratt, I love guys like Chris Pratt, who's not afraid to go out and speak about their faith, and be proud of it.
Denzel Washington, another actor I admire, he's the same.
Yep.
In fact, those are a couple of the handful of guys I hope to work with someday.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Could you imagine being on set with a guy like Denzel Washington, knowing that I'd have to go get a beer with him or something, just to like
take a pill first.
Yeah, I'd have to like just go and like just hang out with him first, just to get on like a.
So
like
you're not overawed on set.
Exactly. Like, hey,
see, a lot of people maybe who are watching our podcast don't know this. Oftentimes we meet actors for the first time, like right before cameras roll.
Yeah.
We don't rehearse together. We get on set sometimes and there they are. Boom.
Yeah. And you're like, it takes like 5 takes before you finally start to settle in, right?
Your heart slows down. You can talk, right?
Yeah.
The sweat stops popping.
Well, it's funny, actually. I remember I was on set. This was very early on in my career. I was an extra on the movie Detroit, and the actor Will Poulter, who was in the movie We're the Millers as well. He was great in that movie. So he was in this film and he was on set that day, and he came over and he started talking to us, and we were playing soldiers, and he started talking to us, and we're having a good time. We're kind of, joking around, but it was quick, nothing crazy. But he was a super nice guy. And then I remember when the movie was coming out, he was doing interviews and I was hearing this English accent, this British accent. I'm like, what the heck? What is this? And then I find out that he's a Brit. And I'm like, he's spoken an American accent the whole time to us.
I got
no idea.
My first English dialect session today after you and I are done.
Do you really?
Yeah, I recently got an agent in England, and I want to be available for those types of shows too. So I'm going to get down a British accent.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. There's so many different dialects.
Yeah, they have what you just call standard British, like they have standard American, and that's what I'm going to shoot for. As long as I don't sound like an American, I think it'll work.
Yeah, that's good, man. And it was the same thing with like Tom Holland. Well, I knew he was British, but
I didn't know. He blew my mind like that guy did with you. I was like blown away because his American is perfect.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was on set for his new movie with the Russo brothers, Cherry, because I wanted to see how they worked. I wanted to see all of that, and it's funny to listen to him speak in interviews, how he's much more polished with the way he speaks. But then when he's just like hanging out in between takes, he's a lot more like this, he's talking a little bit more slang. Like it's a lot more difficult to understand.
A little more Cockney kind of, rather than that general British.
Rather than the posh British accent. Oh, yeah, it's quite. It's just, it's.
Well, my first foray into dialects, I didn't think I was the kind of person that could do dialects, to be honest with you. But when I knew The Chosen was coming, I hired a dialect coach to teach me a generic Middle Eastern dialect. And I liked it and I did pretty well with it. And then I had something Russian coming up and I worked a Russian dialect and that turned out pretty well. And so now I'm like, okay, I'm sure I'll be able to get the British thing down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think I could do it. I did it and I like it,
There you go. I will say Australian, I can't do to save my life. I go British every time. The only thing I can do in Australian or in an Australian accent is like just individual words or phrases like down under,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, but I can't do a sentence because I go British. I do because
Yeah.
they're so similar.
They're similar. I know.
But
Australians are saying, what are you talking about? We're not similar. British people are saying, we're not similar.
yeah, yeah,
You're
exactly.
similar to us.
Yes, yes. And it's funny because the whole standard, like the standard American accent is like a Midwestern accent, which is very funny to me. Because I can go down south, or I can go out to New York or even LA, and people will ask me, where are you from?
Where's that dialect from?
Yeah. And I'm like, from the Midwest. Like, what? It's the most generic thing that you can have in the United States. What do you mean where I'm from? Or, where am I from? But I will say I've always been kind of a mimic, like growing up. So my dad's side of the family is all from New York, and my mom's side of the family is all from like Virginia. And so anytime
what kind of New York?
The Bronx.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so anytime I get around my dad's side of the family, or anytime I start explaining something, or I'm getting really passionate about something, I kind of start to talk like this a little bit, because I'm starting to get a little upset. I start talking a little more
like a wise guy.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
But then if I'm like super relaxed or super chilled out or whatever, if I'm around my mom's side of the family, things start to draw out a little bit,
You go Virginia.
Southern twang, and I don't even realize I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I legitimately, when I used to work in a movie theater. I had a guy came in, and he had a British accent, and he started talking to me, and not even realizing it, I started doing a British accent talking to him. And he went like this, and he goes, "Where are you from?"
New York.
And I was like, "Oh, I'm from here. I am so sorry. I didn't realize I was doing that." And he started laughing, and he goes, "Cheers." And he walked away. So at least he was a good sport about it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Real cool.
Have you ever thought about starting a podcast but don't know how to start? Check out Buzzsprout. Hey, that rhymes. Anyways, I did a bunch of research before starting this podcast and found that Buzzsprout was the best option to make sure I was set up for success, and I'm so glad I chose them. They help get your show listed on every major podcast platform, help you make a sick podcast website, show you detailed analytics to see how and where people are listening, and they even have how-to videos to help you get started. The team at Buzzsprout is dedicated to helping you get your podcast off the ground. They've helped over 100,000 podcasters already, so I'd say they know what they're doing. If you follow the link down in the description, it lets Buzzsprout know that I sent you, and if you sign up with them for a low-cost plan to host your podcast, you'll even get a $20 Amazon gift card. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and that's Buzzsprout. Are you sick and tired of going to the grocery store? Well, now you don't have to. Let someone else do it for you with Instacart. Get all your favorite items without having to stop doing whatever it is you're doing. And get all of those items in as fast as 1 hour. What? Get products from your favorite local stores and even see how Instacart highlights deals to help you save money and get the most bang for your buck. Find everything you usually get, plus see some smart suggestions for new items in case you're feeling a little adventurous. And you won't be getting busted eggs or gross brown lettuce either. By hitting the link in the show notes, it lets Instacart know that we sent you, and it helps support this show. Get free delivery on your first order over $35 now with Instacart. So I want to talk about Mr. Mayor. Dude, you got to work with Ted Danson?
Yes, I was so blessed, so fortunate. Ted Danson, Holly Hunter, and Katie Castillo, bro. It was a great day.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah.
What was that? How did that come about, first of all?
Well, remember you said a few minutes ago you want to get up there with Denzel Washington and hold your own?
Yeah.
I was with Ted Danson. I wanted to hold my own. I know that feeling totally.
And you did.
Completely. Thank you. Thank you.
You really did.
I appreciate that, man. How it came about, I got probably an email from my agent saying, hey, I got an audition for you for NBC, Mr. Mayor with Ted Danson. I'm like, really? Cool. I was in a hotel room, as a lot of us, when we travel, I just filmed from the hotel room. I hired somebody from We Audition who I knew had great comedic chops. Shout out to Carlise Burke. Mwah.
There you go.
She read for me because I knew she could do it and do it well. And I don't know about you, Patrick, but sometimes I'll have an audition and it just feels right.
Yep.
And I do one take and I'm like, I'm done. Okay, I'll do another one just because I have to. And then other auditions, literally 100 takes. This was one of those, really, they're just hiring Steve Shermett to do the role. I can do this.
Yeah.
So I did the audition and then I forgot about it because that's what we have to do. We audition all the time and we move on.
Yep.
But then I'm at lunch a couple of weeks later with my wife. My phone rings. I pick it up and I'm like, it's my agent. Hello? I didn't even know why she was calling. I didn't know I had anything floating out there. It didn't even cross my mind.
Hey, Steve,
she goes,
just
you
checking
booked
in.
it. You booked it. What did I book? She said, you booked Mr. Mayor with Ted Danson. I'm like, no way. I need you in LA day after tomorrow or tomorrow. I don't remember which it was. I think it was day after tomorrow. And I was in New Mexico. I'm like, okay. And then I try to figure out how to arrange my life because I got today to make a flight, to make sure there's a flight available and get my hotel room and rental car and
Dude.
Yeah, it was so awesome, dude. So awesome. Oh, and get a COVID test and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause you got to get that. You got to get that to go to set too. Right. So that's gotta be, so you got to get the quick one. So what was it? So how was it? Cause I have heard that, Mr. Danson is one of like the nicest human beings on the planet.
Total gentleman.
Yeah.
I was concerned that either he or Holly Hunter might just be too big to, talk to us little co-stars.
Talk to us peasants.
Peasants. But even before we got to set, Ted Danson called a meeting and brought us all together to introduce himself and to tell us how things would be going and that he has to be a little standoffish because of COVID and he's so sorry and he might have to rely on his stand-in. He would never do that, but I'm so sorry. They want me to do this because of COVID. Are you okay with that? If you need me there, I'll be there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
a
then
giving
when we got
actor.
on, oh man. And then when we got on set, he did use the stand-in a little, but he was there for most everything. And then in between takes, he would joke with us a little. They would usher him off every once in a while to get away. But for the most part, he was very, very nice guy. And Holly Hunter, even so, I connected with her. We chatted quite a bit and we worked lines together and, hey, let's do it this way. Let's try it this way. What do you think about trying it this way? She loved my ideas. I loved her ideas. It was like working with just anybody else. It was awesome.
Those are pros, man.
Yeah.
Those are pros.
People. And I was like, if I ever get that famous, I'm going to be that gracious.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. Cause I feel there are too many that forget that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's great, man. Yeah. I'm very happy for you and like I remember seeing you post about that and I got so excited for
Thanks,
you.
Bro.
I was really happy for you.
And
And
we celebrate each other's successes. We really do.
yeah, you have to, you have to. There's no, being for those people who are jealous or get upset at someone else's successes and stuff, it doesn't affect that person. It just affects you,
Yeah.
And even still, like, don't kick someone down the ladder on your way up,
No, I mean, what do they say? A rising water lifts all boats, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think teamwork makes the dream work. I love people succeeding. I love helping people succeed. That's one of the things that kind of brought me into producing. I have a knack for bringing people along if I can. Yeah. Just the other day I saw a casting and I knew somebody who would fit that. So I messaged them and said, hey, boom, I put them together,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, man. So now let's talk about the Righteous 12.
Okay.
So we've got a Western.
Yeah.
I love Westerns. And they don't make them anymore. I don't understand why. Why do they not make Westerns anymore?
I don't know. I'm hoping this is going to spark some more interest. It's a low budget one, but it's got some potential. And I'm just like any movie when it comes out, people think we know what we're going to see. I don't know what I'm going to see.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it's decent,
Yeah.
But I'm pretty proud of the work I did. I think I'll know after I see it.
Okay. Have you been able to see any footage at all, or
Just the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's out there now. In fact, it was supposed to hit theaters today.
Oh.
Yeah, but COVID, this is like the third delay. And then the executive producer said he'd get on Facebook today and post the new premiere date. So hopefully today I'll get that. But original plan, the latest plan was it's going to be in theaters coast to coast, not at the same time. It's going to bounce from theater to theater for about a month. And then I'm assuming, knowing Chuck, it will go to streaming platforms.
Yeah.
And depending on the deals he makes and how good it is, depends on where it's going to end up. But his last feature that I helped produce is called Amazed by You, and it ended up on lots of platforms, and it was doing okay. But then when the COVID hit, they released it to YouTube free, and it hit like 1 million views in a month.
Wow.
And then another couple months, another 500,000 views, and it's over 2 million views now.
Wow.
And I'm hoping The Righteous 12 is going to do even better.
Yeah. That's awesome. I don't know why they don't make Westerns anymore. And I know because I'd listened to another podcast that somebody was talking about Westerns and why they don't make them anymore. And they were saying that, like, studios, they always say, you'll never make your money back on Westerns, but yet people always love them.
People love Westerns.
They always go see them.
Yep.
I don't know, man. So you said that you're an actor, you are a producer as well. You also write, correct?
Yeah, I kind of fell into that by accident. It worked out okay, and maybe I'll do some more. But right now, it's not something I'm pursuing regularly.
Yeah.
I made a micro series called The Interview, and I wrote it, and it became more than initially I thought it would be, and that was fine by me, and it turned out pretty good. So you can watch that on YouTube if you want. It's called The Interview. It's 3 episodes, each 2 or 3 minutes long. That's it. And it turned out pretty well, and maybe someday a studio will pick it up. I've not formally shopping it around, but I've had some people take note. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So what's your favorite hat to wear?
Actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands down.
If there could be like a role, like a dream character that you could play, what would it be?
I want a significant supporting role in a Marvel movie.
Oh, yes.
And right next to that, I want a series regular. I want to film CSI or NCIS in Hawaii.
Oh,
because I'm a beach guy. I love the beach. I'm a scuba diver. So if I could get a series regular on the beach, I'm there. That's it. I've arrived.
You're a scuba diver.
Yeah.
Really? So my girlfriend and I are going to be on the 16th of October. We're going to take a beginner scuba diving class. I can't speak. And we're going to see how we like it. And then ideally we want to get our certification next year.
Nice.
So being an experienced scuba diver, do you have any tips as we dive into this whole thing? No pun intended.
Make sure you're taking a PADI certified course.
It is. Yep.
Okay. So that's the first thing. And then I would still go online and check out your instructor, make sure they get a lot of good reviews, because scuba diving can be great and wonderful, but it could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Be very attentive to what they tell you is safe and not safe. A lot of times, read this thing, sign off and do your thing. That's just, you promise not to sue. But with scuba diving, you got to pay close attention to what they say. Are both of you extremely comfortable in the water?
She is. I wasn't for a long time. And I am just now getting more and more comfortable in the water.
Okay, I would make sure you tell your dive instructor this, so they
Okay.
take you extra slow. And as you begin to submerge, maybe 8, 10, 12 feet, like swimming pool depth.
Yeah.
If you're starting to feel panicky, don't go any further.
Okay. Because we're starting. So this class is at a like local high school pool.
Swimming pool, perfect.
And it's funny because like, so my growing up, so my mom, she can't swim. She's afraid of the water, and that was her thing. And she tried really hard to make sure that I didn't feel that way. But then before I could swim, I got thrown into the pool by my uncle, into the deep end. He thought he was just joking around, scared.
Heck yeah.
Scared me to death. And so from that point on, like I like being underwater and seeing around everything that's around, if I can see everything. But if I'm just treading water and I can't see what's underneath me, that's what I don't like.
Well,
is not being able to see underneath.
That does happen with scuba diving. You just have to pick your dive sites. That's all. So you don't go to a site that's like that. I would get a snorkel and a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And as many times as you can between now and your class, just lay with your face in the water and get used to breathing out of that tube.
That's a good idea. And my girlfriend's family, they have a pool.
Yeah.
Parents.
Just spend as much time with your face in the water as you can. And if you become comfortable, dive down. Now, you never hold your breath in scuba diving. That's the number one rule. Never hold your breath. They will repeat this to you over and over.
That's so weird.
That's dangerous. It can kill you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's the number one rule. Every diver knows it. Never hold your breath.
Okay.
Because depending on how deep or shallow you are, air expands. You want your lungs to pop or get the bends. No. So you get used to breathing with your face in the water, and it'll be natural. And then just dive down and hold your breath, because you can do that with snorkeling, not with scuba diving. So you're used to being underwater without being able to take a breath. You know what I mean? And then slowly work your way up. Just go fish, man. Become a fish.
Nice. I'm excited. Has there been any
awesome. It's a great experience.
Has there been any like what's your favorite dive site that you've gone to?
I think my favorite dive site was near Fort Lauderdale, Lauderdale Lakes. I do what's called beach dive, where you just bring your gear and walk right into the water.
Okay.
And there's a pier that I'm familiar with. And the couple times I dove there, like on the right side of the pier, there were sharks, not the dangerous kind.
Yeah.
There are sharks that are pretty much harmless, big, but they're not like aggressive. And then on the other side of the pier is a bunch of coral with, it's like a nursery for fish, just fish everywhere. So I knew I could just swim to that spot and see all sorts of fish. And it was only like 10 or 12 feet. You could snorkel there if you wanted to. And so when the water's that shallow and there's no surge and the water's not trying to bring you away, you can just breathe real slow and easy and just hang there with the fish. So nice, so easy.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so peaceful. I love it.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that stuff, because I've gotten much more adventurous, and I do accredit that to my girlfriend too. Is she's a huge adventurer, and I mean, she just went on a backpacking trip for the first time ever with a friend of hers who does a trip every year for the last 20 years, and she was out for a few days. They ended up hiking 26 miles in 3 days.
Where'd they go?
With 35 pounds strapped to their back. It was at this place called Isle Royale, and it's in northern Michigan, like above the Upper Peninsula. And it's this island. They had to take a seaplane out to the island, and they were there until the trip was over. Cool. Until the plane came back, they couldn't leave,
Right.
And she's just like guns blazing. Let's go do it. Let's go experience this. And I love that. And it's very inspiring. And so yeah, we've got a nice bucket list of stuff that we want to do. And scuba diving was one of them. We're like, and I told her, I said, you know what? I said, let's do it then. Let's go take a class. Let's take a beginner class just to see what it's like as like an intro thing and see how we like it. And then at that point, let's go do a certification. And then my dad's best friend, he is certified to take people out for their like open dive at the end of their certification.
That's great.
And he told us, he said, yeah, he said, I'll take you guys down to Florida. When you guys are done with your class, I'll take you down to Florida and we'll go, we'll go diving. And that'll be it.
He'll know where to take you.
Oh yeah. So I'm excited. It'll be cool.
Awesome.
Okay. So the goods. I have a little segment here at the end of every show that I like to do, pick the brain a little bit, a couple rapid fire questions, and then a question that I always end every show with that I think is important, and it's always cool to hear everybody's answers. So let's get into it.
All right.
Number one, who is one actor that you would love to work with right now? That if you had to work with this person and you were going to die immediately after, you could be happy career-wise that was the person that you worked with. Sorry, that got a little dark and morbid, but
no, that's fine. There's a few, but I'm just going to go with Will Smith.
Oh, great choice. Fresh Prince.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love his comedic chops. I love his dramatic chops. I love his personality, and he's just excellent. And I love to work with him. There's others, but he's towards the top.
Will Smith. All right. That's a good answer. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh man, probably Avengers.
Which one?
The first.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Endgame and all those are fabulous and amazing, but that started it all for me. Iron Man was amazing.
Yeah.
But Avengers brought in all the characters together seamlessly, gave them their backstories, their personalities. It was so well done, in my opinion.
Yeah, great choice. Okay. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Both.
That is such a cop-out answer.
Yeah. Oh man.
Trying to appease all of the fans.
No, I can't make a decision. If I got an offer right now for a role in a Star Trek film and it competed with a role in a Star Wars film, I would go nuts.
Oh man.
I would love to get in The Mandalorian, brother. Right?
That show is so good.
Yeah.
And Bill Burr was the comedian Bill Burr was so good in this last season of The Mandalorian. He played I don't remember his name, but he was the bald guy with like the reddish beard. He ended up having that really good storyline, like where they infiltrated and he like
I'm racking my brain now for this story. I've watched so much TV since that went off.
He sat he was like sitting at the lunch table. They were acting as if they were like stormtroopers or something. And they were sitting at like the employee lunch table or whatever. And he was sitting across from the guy who had like murdered his family, and he ended up shooting him and killing him, and they went off. And well, anyway, he was good in that series too. And he's a comedian, but
I like Gina Carano. Of course, she was amazing.
Yes, she was. It's a
they
shame.
They brought in the guy, I can't think of his name, which is a shame, from Justified, who starred in Justified.
Oh yeah, Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, he's amazing. I like him.
Yep.
But I just think the series is great. I love that world of sci-fi and fantasy, and I love the way the show is going. Yeah, that would be a dream role.
Yeah.
That.
It's a shame that they got rid of Gina Carano.
Yes.
It's an absolute shame. It's ridiculous, in my opinion.
I don't like how anybody, including Hollywood, are censoring people. I mean, unless you're an out and out racist Nazi monster, let people be people and do their jobs,
Exactly. Okay. And then finally, the last question is, how are you able to keep a positive mindset and keep yourself grounded, especially in a career like this? What are some things that you do to keep yourself level?
True confession. I don't know that I do keep a positive mindset. I get discouraged when I don't book. And if there's a length of time between booking something, I get discouraged. I get frustrated and, I want to pull my hair out and say, so I don't know if I keep a positive mindset. I know I work hard, and that's a positive distraction that leads me towards my goals. So I'm always hustling in a positive sense. Always pursuing that thing that will make me better at my craft, give me more connections, give me more opportunities. So I suppose that might be my answer.
That's great. I like that. It's good to have a good work ethic, and especially in this business, you gotta grind, you gotta hustle,
Yeah.
Well, Steve, thank you very much for being here, man. It was great talking with you, and I'm glad I got to get to know you a little better.
Likewise, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And man, I hope you can come back, and I hope we can talk some more and talk about some new projects that you'll end up having coming out. And
hey, if the Righteous 12 is a success, bring me back on. If it's not, wait a while.
Okay. All right. Deal. And you are also, you're all over social media, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Well, to everybody listening, you can look down in the show notes. I'll have links to all of his profiles as well as his IMDb profile, so you can keep up on all the projects that he's doing.
And that We Audition code is actually my name, Steve25. Steve25, you get your discount.
Perfect. So for all you actors out there and you want to be on We Audition, then go get this discount code and go get your account and start getting better, right? And start working.
Yes, every day, man. Do it every day.
Every day. Well, thank you very much, Steve. We appreciate it.
All right, Patrick, take care, man.
All right, and that wraps up this episode of The Good Life. Thank you to Steve for coming on. We had a great talk. It was great talking with him and catching up with him. And thank you to all of you who made it this far. And if you didn't make it this far, well, you won't know anything that I'm saying. We'll be back next week. We got another episode coming out here, and this will be a good time. And for all of you for all of you actors who want to who always need help with auditions, tape auditions, whatever, go get on We Audition and use his discount code, which is down in the description. And also check out his stuff. Check out The Chosen. Phenomenal series. Check out The Chosen and everything else that Steve is doing. Links are down in the description. And that's all I got. So we'll see you next week.